Okay, I will present about the implementation of the customary cadastre integrating BIM and GIS on the SuperMap software in Bali. Okay, the first I will show you about my content. Today this is my content. Okay, we will go to introduction. Okay, the first in essence, we know Cadastre. Why my title is Customary Cadastre? In essence, the Cadastre is serves as is used as the record of the land right and the part of the land administration functions toward sustainable development. Okay, today we know in these years we will entering the digital information revolutions, and then we want to develop of the more of the modern of the cadastre infrastructure, like the 3D cadastre and then the twin digital and then etc. And then if we want to basically if we want to talk about the cadastre as the record, okay, we want to in other hand the cadastre. This cadastre was developed on into the multi-purpose cadastre for the integrating to record anything related the object, and then multi-purpose cadastre is the integrate for the land information system like legal. I think example of property ownership and cadastre, and the physical like the topography and the man-made filter, and then the culture like the land use, demographic, and then etc. And then currently the application of the multi-purpose cadastre system will the record in the 3D. To support the modern cadastre has the many technology, and then I think this one of them, yeah, I think one of them use the BIM and the GIS, and is the good approach. Is the providing a spatial information related legal certainly and legal assessment, and then use of the space. And multi-purpose cadastre will have the legal information, data information like the physical, and then the cultural information like the in right hand is the picture. So I will going to BIM. I think if we want to record anything object and we use the multi-purpose cadastre, we must use the BIM, because BIM can record of the all information like the legal data, geospatial, financial, and then and other information for we want to how a level of development. So if we want to talk about BIM, we must talk about the EFC, and this EFC will describe your semantic data. So if you have the cultural information, we will show, we will editing, we will modify the EFC for integrating for the we want to view of the semantic data of we want. And then in other researchers, in more of the researchers I read it, in the paper in Atashade, he show about the 3D modeling like this one. So this the 3D, we can describe the information, and then who have the ownership in the right in this apartment, and so have the database like the in my right side, and then this is we want to describe the information of the virtual, and we want to describe how to we want to get the restriction this one, the ownership of this apartment, this one. So I think if we want to make the 3D cadastre to get the conservation, because in the BIM can the conservation like the A1 like the paper in A1 if the building is good condition, it need to maintain by making the digital inventory. This is good for our use the BIM, and then we look of the 3D modeling, and then we have the information, the culture, and if the conditions in the building is not is the bad, we will replace with the digital inventory. Yeah, can use for the healing. And then if we want to make this the data and BIM, we must use the laser scanning to can get the point cloud, and we want to make the has-built drawing to make the BIM for the to maintain of the heritage, our model of the heritage. So so if we talk about this the heritage, that how can we implement it, implementations of 3D cadastre in Indonesia? So Indonesia have many things related to local language, culture, different architecture, and Indonesia customary law is recognized as the state in the 1945 constitutions in the Article 18B, paragraph 2. With the states recognize and respect indigenous people and their traditional right as the long as they are still alive. And in Indonesia, we want to record of what the building, the more of the building in the Indonesia, and I chose the 34 in the traditional adat in Indonesia. Look like this one. So but I want to focus in one of the Balinese, because in this if we want to implementing 3D cadastre in Indonesia is the very complexity. Is very complex, because we want to it is have the many semantic data. Okay, this is time for we look of the Bali. Yeah, Bali is the unique because have the statue, have the modernization and the tourism. Yeah, I hope you can go in here someday, yeah? If you have the time and go to Bali. Okay, okay, I will show you about the customary cadastre. Why we use the 3D cadastre to record of the customary cadastre? Because if we want to record in the 2D, just map, just to do it 2 dimensions is not enough to describe the customary semantic information. We will to transitions to 3D dimensions, and we want to have the drawing. But how to make this one? We need the beam for can get the coordinate and can get the semantic data in the information position. So why need the implementing 3D Cadastre in Bali? Yeah, we look like this one is the complex architecture pattern and then the added semantic. We will learn more about the culture and then the heritage building, existing building in Bali, and so we will show about unique and complex the architecture in Bali. And then Bali signed the era Indonesia independent. Balinese people are still maintain strong to maintain their archaeology, their existing building and their architectural and aesthetic building. So this is the reason because the people Bali will use the Trita Karana concept in Balinese spatial planning to maintain harmonious life. Bali applies the concept of the Trita Karana. Okay. Yeah, what the Trita Karana? Trita Karana is the harmonization of the human and God, human and human, and then human and nature. So if you go to Bali, you look in every single house have the temple or the sangha. So this is a Balinese people make that information of the we recording the God. So this is the very important to our now because this is the more part of our semantic data in the 3D. So the concept of 3D Trita Karana, this one have the several zone like the three local, and Trianga is the zone of the vertical, Mandala is the zone of the horizontal. And then if we want to talk about the Bali, it's very important. If you go to Bali, North Bali, you look the sacred place in the south. If you in the South Bali, you look in the sacred place in the north. This is the very the directions of the Bali like this. Or we want to apply the orientations of the restriction of the suns in the for the spatial planning. I think it's Utama is like the sacred, and Madhya is the for the local, and then the Nista is the for the public. If you go to Bali, and you are not a local Balinese people, you can go. You just go in the Nista Mandala. Don't go to Utama Mandala because there's the reasons to have the sacred area. So if we want to go to Utama, it is the position in Utama Mandala in the highest from the Nista. And then look like the restriction zone of the orientation of the vertical. We will look up. You can go to Kutai, like this is the public area. And you, I think I'm not suggest you go to the temple and maybe you not touch anything in there because this is very restriction in Bali. So this is the very important to know public city. And then this is the if we want to deeply knowing about the spatial planning, So we want to use this one. This spatial layout is described for the spatial of the position of the building. So in the utama is the temple. So I think this is very important. And then if we want go to another, we go to in house in our friend house, we must go to in Nista. Okay, in the basic, if we want to make the building a traditional building in Bali, like Bali, the basic measurement is the traditional Bali house. The Bali have the two information, like the Bali Asta Posala Posali or the Asta Bumi for the make build the traditional building. And the basic measurement used based on the body size of the owner in the house. And if you want to have a large of the your house, you must be bigger. You must tall and go to we make the Balinese house. We must use the elbow and for the form of the is hand for the make the traditional that building. And then this is one of the informations like the dimensions. If we want to go to make home in if we describe this like the human head is the very sacred, and we can and maybe you can to yeah like this is very important to our now if we want to go to Bali. So this is for the Asta Posala Posali like this one. So this is the restriction zones. We have the Sangha is in Utama, and then the Penyangker in the Nista Mandala. So and this is the important thing, because in the Bali, if you want to invest in Bali, you don't to make the building like the maximum of the restriction, because the maximums have the 50 meter in Bali. So this is the regulation, the province Bali number 16, and you must follow them. And then what the relations? I say that and 3D Cadastre and modern Cadastre and Customary Cadastre. So if I describe the Customary Cadastre is the regulation that have the right as the people Balinese have the right in the traditional that have the communal right, and then have the restrictions. We have to conserve of the restrictions, like simple building height 15 meter, and then the responsibility have the Balinese people to conserve their use, their land use, and then we will create of the land tenure, land use, and the value. In there, we can describe this the customary cadastre. This one use with the integrating the 3D cadastre, BIM, and concept Trita Karana in Bali. So in the Bali must have this one building architecture. Is the name, and then And Bali have the spatial planning is homogeneous because if we look at the ortho top of the view, we look in the number one is the Sangha temple. It's uh, always the position in the north and the east. Then and the position is the Hague. And then this is information about the spatial planning in every single house or ownership in Bali. And then this is the if we want to modern minimalist house, we must we must has we must have the God the representation in God in our human, and if we want to go to have the human activity and then the parking, I think this will describe it the Palayangan and Pawongan and Palemahan. I like this describe the Tita Karana. And then if we want to make the 3D heritage, we must have the integrating the multi-sensor like this one. And then I think this is the basic of our laser scanning to our want to get the beam of the accurate, and we use the laser scanning, and we can use the structure from motion like the close range photogrammetry. We can use this one for the accurations, for the accurate to make the 3D modeling and make the beam. And this is the registration in the Penglipuran, in the Penglipuran village. I think like in this one, it look like the Penglipuran template, and the house and the road we can scanning if the error is lost. And then if we want to get the last scanning point cloud, we must do validation with the total station and conventional. We think about this one is the accurate or to maintain the accuracy of our surveying. Okay, and then if we want have the point cloud, and then we have the model, we can use for this one to conservation, and we can inventory the data. This one for next future. If we want to reconstructions and we want to other needed, we can use this one like the same scale. And then we can the verifications of the model, like the dimension, the coordinate in the point cloud. So this is the representation like the point cloud and the beam. Yeah? We will look in the temple and then the beam in the model. So you can use this one. You look up this good for our accurations, and we can look make the has-built drawing from point cloud and then beam. Okay, and then in the step 3, we will describe this one step 3 because this is the many thing. This is many have the many informations like the statue, like the monster. Yeah. But this is the very have the information call. It's a very information to guard our nature. And you look at the information. He has his name is Saput Poleng. The name because he have the information why he have the clothes, because monster this monster like us, yeah, like us, and us must use the cloth in anything in there, and then we can look this one, yeah. If we want to modeling the step, we must use the handheld laser scanning, and then handheld laser scanning, that we will build the model, so like this one, and then verification with the point cloud as we verify with the total station, and then after that we will build the beam, yeah, and then this is the describe of the beam, and then if we have the EFC building, and then EFC building, this have the roof, space, wall, door, and slab, and then in this model is name of the pound in the pengelipuran. And in the pengelipuran, if we deeply look of the this pound have the two room, two space in the kitchen and the parent room, so we can look into in one building have two information. So this is I think it's unique, and then we can describe this the customary like the cadastre, and we record the in other side is kitchen, in the other side is parent room, and we can show in the database, and we can look up this information. And then if we look in the pengelipuran, we can look this the model. It is must exist in the pengelipuran, in the pound, logi, and sekenam, sanggah, and kurat, and the modern. And the result is we can describe the information like this one. If we click in our mata, yeah, I think this is like the Sonam Madya, and then here the register with my name, yeah. I forget with my laser. Okay, yeah, like this information, yeah. We click in here, we have the Son Madya, and we click this one is the temple area, and then we use this the SuperMap for the implementing the customer restriction in the pengelipuran village in SuperMap software. So this is the method use the SuperMap desktop for the data processing, and we can go to data publishing and send the viewer IR, and then the integration of BIM and GIS, yeah, can provide an overview of the customary law and the restriction that apply in the one custom village. This integration makes it easier for the stakeholder to decide on the modernization restrictions and to maintain their traditional building. Look like this one. Yeah. We want to look the height information. This one have the height of the space in the room. This is the pengelipuran village is the 15, and then we can describe the information like the Madya, where the Utama, where the Vista, and this is will used for the tourism. Go to Bali, have the more information. If we want to go to Madya, Zona Madya, or if you can, but if you go to Utama Madya, Mandala, it's the sacred area is not it doesn't enter in their information in the zone. And then my conclusion, is the customary adat customary cadastre is important to be implemented in Indonesia, because this activity will be socially related. And considering that Indonesia has the thousand of the traditional village, and the customer cadastre is not simply to drawing in the two dimension, but must the transitions in the 3D is the requirement. And those to identification to customer adat, like right, restriction, responsibility, can use the 3D cadastre integrations and the various job multipurpose cadastre to support of the functions of the land registration. And the integrating BIM and GIS make it possible to follow up on the Bali regional regulations for the regulating the building height and the modernization on the restrictions. And I think use the SuperMap is a good approach to our begin to our to describe the customer cadastre. Okay. Yeah. Likewise, yeah. That this is can apply in the several other villages or even other country that require the conservation of this customary. Yeah. I think is enough. Yeah. If you not clear what I say or what this the presentation, you can comment, or you can ask in my email, yeah, maybe.